Hello, everyone. I'm just going to turn this music off. Here we go. There. All right. Beautiful. Okay, it is Thursday. I'm excited to be here. I'm feeling a lot better than last time. So back in that alignment, gone through my woo. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I get a lot of people, when they come and they ask me, and then, like, yeah, I know. I get the same feeling sometimes where it's like, wow, what's going on? And aren't we done yet? Unfortunately, it keeps going, right? A new lesson comes along. So thank you for joining today. Give me one sec here. I'm just going to make sure my volume's on. I think we're good. Okay, yeah, we're ready to go. All right, perfect. So last week we did a slightly different healing session where I talked. I think I've done it in the past, but that one just kind of came through that way. And I had a lot of people send me emails or comments saying they really liked it. I think today we'll just go with the flow. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm not going to promise it's going to be that, but it just might be. That one just kind of happened. I enjoyed it and it's fine. And I don't usually re-listen to my talks because I don't know what was said, but there was one night I just couldn't sleep. So I said, I'm just going to listen to the YouTube video. And I said, oh, I said that? Neat. Yeah, pretty cool. So, hello everyone. Katya, she's always saying hello from the UK. She must be up really late. I had a few people join from the UK registered, but they never show up. But Katya seems to be the one that always seems to show up. So, hello out there. Um, what I want to say today, so it's going to be the same type of thing. But as a lot of you, as I always say, I'm always learning, I'm always growing. I'm working with someone who's showing me things from a different aspect. I've done so much energy work, so much breaking patterns, so many things. So sometimes I just need a reality check of the 3D world. And, what are my patterns that I do in 3D? And I'm looking at myself from a different aspect now. It's really eye-opening, saying, wow, okay. And then this pattern of behavior I have has been with me for so long. How do you break it? How do you stay conscious? How do you stay present? Sometimes we have these gifts, and our gifts, all gifts, have a positive and a negative aspect to them. And if sometimes without knowing, we use too much of the negative. So, for instance, being over responsible. I've always had this over responsibility. I feel responsible for everybody and everything, their feelings, their this, their that. You don't want someone to go through a trauma. You don't want someone to go through an experience. So you kind of like, shelter them and do that. And what I've realized is that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to do what I can in a responsible way, but not to be over responsible. But when you've been in this habit of over responsibility your entire life, it's really hard to start to break it. But it's about being present and aware and really picking apart those pieces of yourself and looking at it from a third outside way. And it's really interesting when you look at yourself in that way and you start to pick apart yourself. And as a lot of people will say, oh, I'm embarrassed from my old actions, or I have regrets, or I shouldn't have done that. But in the end, when you did something, you did it based on what you knew or where you were at a certain time of your life. Nothing to be embarrassed about. It's a learning, and all those learnings are accumulations to where you are today. So a lot of the experiences we may have had came out of a fear-based place. Fear of not being liked, fear of being yelled at, fear of being judged, fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of so many things. But when you start to really grow, you'll start to notice, what am I fearing? Fear is just an illusion. Fear is a buy-in alignment to social norms and cultural expectations and human consciousness that's been on this planet. So if you really start to take yourself out of the fear, say, hey, you know what? I have nothing to fear. I'm just going to live life looking at everything, not ignoring, and dealing with what comes up with my my heart with my light and bring love to it. So bringing all my situations up to the higher room, that higher vibration where fear and anxiety and worry don't exist, and say, you know what, I'm going to hand it over, but not hand it over meaning I'm not going to do anything about it. There's still 3D things, like, for instance, you still have to pay your bills, you still have to have conversations with people, you still have responsibilities, but it's bringing everything up to a different level where, yeah, I'm going to do this the best I can. And if I fail, I fail. And if people don't like me, they don't like me. But I'm going to do the best I can. And allowing that light to really guide you. And what will happen is your life will slowly start to change when you let go of that fear and the anxiety. It's uncomfortable, because change is uncomfortable, even though it's positive change. And even though you're moving forward, there's a lot of part of us that's going to resist the change. And I talk about this a lot, but I get so many people coming to the office, coming for a session, saying, I hope you don't hear what I'm thinking right now, because there's a part of me that is ripping into you right now, Brenda. There's a part of me that really, I'm going to say, hates you. And the things that I feel like I'm saying, I hope you don't hear them. And it's quite funny. I always take it as a compliment, because really we all have light and we all have dark. That's humanity. And that dense energy within us has a consciousness. And during a session, even something like this, a lot of people might feel anxious. A lot of them feel like, why am I listening to this? I'm just going to shut it off. I don't want to listen to it. It's just the dark energy has a consciousness, and it's going to be pulled away at a level that you can allow it to leave, because we're all very individual, and it might resist it. So I have some clients that can't even do these calls. They say the energy is too intense. It's the resistance, and that's okay, because your resistance will leave when it's ready. Just continue to do something for yourself, whether it's affirmations, a quick meditation, staying as positive as possible, staying as present as possible, noticing your patterns. Just chip away. Now, here's another example. Let's say there's a book that you like, or maybe you were given a book and you have resistance to that book. Well, it might be a little bit higher vibration, and it's irritating that part of you that you want to kind of release. Sleep with the book. I know it sounds strange, but does sleeping with a book work? Well, that book has a vibration, and that vibration, that light that the book holds, the words hold, actually will work to slowly dissolve the resistance around you. In about 2 weeks, you might be able to hold that book and read it. Now you read the book, let's say, and like, wow, I read it. You might be compelled to read the book again. But when you read the book a second time, a lot of that initial resistance is gone. The book is going to seem very different, almost brand new. Like, I don't remember reading it like this. Well, when you read the book the second time, it lifts a lot more dense energy. Now you might be compelled to read a book the third time. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember the book again. You're hearing it differently because a new layer of resistance is gone. So you're seeing things more differently. They're seeing things differently. So there are some books I have read 15 times, and each time was a whole new experience because of the lifting of that dense energy. And the beauty of this work that you're doing for yourself is, as we lift this heaviness, these belief patterns, these experiences, the traumas, all that stuff that is humanness, as you lift it, it doesn't come back. Yes, you can create new traumas. Yes, we can, if you watch something too much that's negative, it is going to go into your subconscious. But as you start to work on yourself, you're going to notice you're less likely to watch TV or media or shows that are disturbing. You're not going to even like it because your vibration changes. And I can give you an example for people who know me. I used to love the CSI stuff. I used to love those forensic files, and I loved it. But my vibration could handle it then. However, as I start to do work, when something like that comes on TV, I don't even want to watch it. because here I am, and that's just going to bring me to the lower state. I don't like that feeling of fear or worry, anxiety. Whereas before, I didn't mind it. I actually enjoyed it. But that kind of information that was coming in was feeding the fear that I had within me. And now as I'm like, I don't really have fear, so I don't like the fear trying to come into my field. Whenever, you're listening, let's say, to the news or the media, it's very tricky how they give us that information because they play the music and we're captivated, and it's getting to the subconscious mind. I would always, back then I could handle listening to the news. I could be drawn into it. Now I want to know what's going on, but I choose how, and I find reading it is easier because I'm not getting the the way with the music and this. It's not penetrating my subconscious. It's more, I'm reading something more matter of factly. As I'm reading it, I can be more discerning, saying, okay, is this right? Is this something I resonate with? No. Okay. And you know what? I didn't like what I read. I'm not going to discount maybe it is true. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take information with a grain of salt. I'm going to say, okay, and if it bothers me, then I'm going to send that area, maybe I'm reading about a certain area of the world that's not doing so good, and just send out love and light to them. Not ignore it, but just send out. So I feel like I've done something. And sometimes it's just simple, compassionate action. Interestingly, in the past we used to have, and there's still people that do this, and I don't do it anymore, but I was one of those people that used to get together with either friends or other people and talk about all the bad things, like, oh, what's happening in your life, and we would all talk about it. Okay, now let's all sit there and send love to each other. Well, in this new energy, I would suggest, yes, we all have worries. We all have things happening. There's people in the world that need more help than ever before. Yes, it's something that's there. We don't have to turn a blind eye to it. But when we're doing something like this and we're coming together to send beautiful energy to our planet, to ourselves, to our friends, our family, we don't have to bring in, I'm going to send energy to so and so because of this issue, or I'm going to send so and so energy because of this issue. The universe knows the issue. Their guides know the issue. These beautiful beings of light know the person's issue. We don't want to focus on the issue, because in this new energy, manifestations happen quickly. Whatever we think about really grows. And for those of you who really watch what you think about and see where your life goes, you can see negative thoughts, worry really can turn your life to a downspin very quickly. But when you're feeling that high, that connection, that inspiration, that love, you can see your life really switching to another positive direction. So I play with manifestation. I manifest very quickly, which kind of scares me sometimes, because if I'm in worry, I can create chaos very quickly. But if I stay out of worry and stay in the upper room, I can create great things very quickly. And it's almost within hours, I can start seeing things. So I'm just like, oh, wow, my thought patterns aren't so good because I can see what's happening. So what do? I need to reset. And everyone's reset can be differently. There's no one method or one technique for everyone. And there's not one technique or method for you on like that's going to work continuously. So for instance, you have this toolbox of many different methods. And at this time, I may decide to use affirmations, and it's going to get me out of that negative thought pattern, out of the worry, back into that zone. We all have had that zone. Just think of that time in your life where you felt light, happy, inspired, excited, and you knew exactly, like, I'm going to do this, and you're just like, wow, I can't stop thinking about how excited I am. That's that feeling of alignment. And it's such a beautiful feeling when you have it. You want to stay in it, but there's a lot of ups and downs where we fall out of the alignment. We fall into the worry, and we're human. And it's I'm going to say it's normal. But what will happen over time is you'll stay more into that excitement and alignment and inspiration and less in the worry. And when you start to go into the worry, you'll start to actually almost feel your vibration decreasing. And you're like, oh no, I'm dipping. I don't like this feeling. I need to do something to get me back up. So there are things like EFT tapping that works, Ho'oponopono, affirmations, grounding, talking out loud, going for a walk, hugging a tree, anything that works. Like there's so many different things out there, right? Sometimes listening to a video such as this or some other one that you love, I go to Abraham Hicks a lot, and I listen or I read. I'll just grab a book that I really like and just flip to a page and just read what message do they have for me, and that usually will work as well. So there might not be a one thing that's going to get me out of that negative thought pattern. But when I'm in it, I'm like, okay, I need to get out. Sometimes it's talking to a wise one, and sometimes that's your child who just kind of keeps you grounded. Like, why are you worrying? Today's issues are just going to be history. Like, think about the biggest things you've gone through in the past. It could be a month ago, it could have been 6 months ago, 2 years ago. It was such a big thing, and then it's just history. It's done, right? So it's not a forever state. And you can look at your immediate problem as, oh my goodness, look at what I've created. Or you can say, wow, look what I created. Okay, how am I going to deal with it in the best way possible, in a responsible manner where I'm holding it in the light so it doesn't escalate into something even bigger? If I have an issue and I start to worry about it, it just compounds into something bigger. I've noticed that. But if I have this issue and I really look at it, okay, taking a deep breath, holding it, and asking for help, I know I still have to do task A, task B, task C, all those things that this 3D world requires. But I can do that in a state of panic or worry and anxiety, or I can do it in a state of everything's going to be okay. I may not know exactly how it's going to turn out, but if I stay connected, I stay in alignment, and I ask for that guidance as I'm doing the tasks needed, it's going to move in a much smoother way and resolve in a much better way. So it's really about looking at the bigger picture, connecting, allowing that deep breath. And when you notice you're stressed, look at your breathing. A lot of us will shallow breathe or hold our breath. And I found myself like last week just holding my breath. I'm like, oh, I'm not even breathing. Now, I'm someone who during an energetic session, I feel so connected. I wish I could do sessions all day long because that's where I feel just pure love. But then when I'm out of a session and I'm living life, I too get caught up in life and the experience that are coming up for me to heal and learn from. And I can get out of alignment just as easy as someone else. I just kind of notice it quicker and think, wow, look what I'm doing. I need to get back. And yesterday, I think I was kind of like going in and out, and I noticed, and I listened to a meditation, but the words in the meditation that day were exactly the words I needed to hear. And I'm just like, they're absolutely right. Why bring this worry into my field? Stopping it, bringing in love, and let's move forward. And my whole move switched in just a simple 15-minute meditation. It's just a present moment where I was present. I realized my thought patterns were getting out of hand and saying, no more. I'm going to love me. I'm going to work on this and invest in me. So when we're aligned to the truth, the real universal truth, the universal truth never changes. And the neat thing is, when you're in that truth, it's the same thing each master talks about in their own way. Although that we are magnificent beings, that we are powerful beings, that we are love beyond belief. That's the universal truth. And as humanity starts to come into their own, back to this birthright, you're going to notice your magnificence. And as you start to notice your magnificence, you're like, how do I ever drop out of it? And it's this whole thing where, depends how old you are. You could be in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s. There is habit formed prior. And that habit is something that we need to notice. This is a pattern of habit that I do. And in this situation, I'm going to be aware and do something different. Now, first, there's that uncomfortable feeling because it's not what your cell memories remember. It's not how your nervous system wants you to react. We're very interesting beings in that way. So it's that awareness saying, okay, this situation, I always do this. I'm going to do something completely different. And some people, when they say they're starting to change, there's so much resistance that they feel like they're just going to cry, or they just want to hide under a rock. They just want to hide from everything. Like, why am I even here? And how many people have said, like, why am I still here? This planet is so hard. It's hard for those who are trying to change. It's hard for those who are trying to evolve. And, let's say not trying, let's say it's hard for us that are evolving. As we're working through this puzzle, it's an individual process. It's a process that we have to do in stages because we cannot rush the manifestation that we're seeing. So if I lived in a manifestation of worry and fear, avoided my problems because I didn't want to get yelled at or judged, and all of a sudden I'm going to move into a manifestation where I'm in the higher vibration, where I'm seeing things differently, I'm reacting differently. Well, your body needs to acclimate to the change. Your energy systems need to adjust. So it is a gradual process. From the way I can almost see it is like we all have this light and dark, and the darkness is leaving our system and we're anchoring in more light. We're really bringing heaven on earth. But if we did it too fast, and for those of you who've had these quantum shifts in healing, a lot of people will say, I was in bed, it felt like I had the flu for a week, or I had rashes, or I was very uncomfortable. That's because there was such a big shift of this, a lot of darkness leaving and all this light coming in, that your body had to readjust. So it goes into feels like a sickness as it needs to rest, to reacclimate. And then the energy systems and all that's happening. So you don't have to do it in these big quantum shifts. If you stay on top of it and just do it a little by little by little, it's less painful, it's less uncomfortable, but it can take longer. So then someone will say, well, I want to be here and not here. I get it. And I sometimes used to feel like that all the time. Like, why am I still here? I should be there. But what I realize, week by week, I'm changing so much. So how much more do I expect out of myself? Why can't I just be content with where I am? I always say where we are is perfect and evolving. It's so much easier to say that to a client or a friend or family member, but it's so hard to say it to ourselves. Why do we expect so much from us? We're human as well, right? So give yourself a pat on the back. You're on these calls. You're probably doing a lot of other things, reading books, trying the affirmations, doing your best to ride this wave of the ascension process and not go against it. At least we know it's happening. We're some of the luckier humans out there that know something big is happening. We can feel it in our heart. We're here to grow, and we're not fighting that wave that Mother Earth is pushing us. And then we just send out love to those who don't understand what's going on. So their energy systems are getting bombarded. They're getting pulled to open up, but they don't get it. And they can fight against it. And that's where we have a lot of people who are very anxious, very angry. Their feet are stuck in the ground. Well, this wave of energy, this ascension process is happening to all of humanity, whether we like it or not, know it or not, we're in it. So just kind of do your best, take a deep breath and go with the flow. And it doesn't make it super easy, but at least there's that awareness. And before a session like this, a lot of people will say, I get very antsy, I get very frustrated. Sometimes I don't even want to join the call. I hate these. And I get sometimes people saying, I hate these calls. It just gets me angry before. Well, it's kind of a compliment because that's that layer, that next layer that's raised being agitated, saying, don't do the call, don't go on it because you're going to release. And that's these releases that we do in these calls can be pretty impactful. Although the group healing, I would say it is beautiful the way it works. But when someone's coming from an individual session and we're really going big, that flare up in their that dense energy really can speak to them and they just want to run out of the office. And I always take it as a compliment. I can hear it talking to me. I was like, oh, it's really upset. But once we start into the session, and even this right now, the energy's flowing, it's already being taken care of. So the anxiety slowly starts to melt away, and that negative stuff that you no longer need, you don't need to know really what it was, what it is. It's not just one thing, it's like a collection of 1,000 things. So it could be a trauma you went through at 3 years old. They're not going to be able to pull out the full trauma, but they might pull out a percentage that you can handle. Or sometimes it is 100% of something, or sometimes it's 20% or 15%. But what happens before a session like this is anything that's up for release, that's safe to release, anything that's up for healing or transmutation, it's up. Everyone's different. We get uncomfortable feelings. Just give yourself permission to say, hey, I may not understand what's happening or what's releasing, because it's not the 3D little Brenda that's knowing what's happening to me, or you're going to know what's happening to you. But we're just giving permission to our higher self to say, hey, you know where I've been, you know where I'm going, you know my soul's journey. I'm going to give you permission to release whatever I'm ready to release. And I may not have to understand it or know what it is, but a lot of people will have a feeling if they need to know if it's something that's beneficial for their growth. They may have a sense of something that's leaving, say, okay, but they might feel it again the next time and they'll ask, well, why do I keep feeling this same kind of undertone of what's happening? Well, if you think about it, I'm going to give an example to someone who may have been adopted or maybe born to parents who didn't really want them. Well, that's coming from your birth. That's coming, you're in your mom's tummy and you knew. So as you're healing, that sadness, that abandonment, that unwanting feeling is only being chipped away in small bits to what you can handle. And as you're releasing, you're anchoring in more light, and your body's changing, and your energetics and energy is changing. It's really neat when I first meet someone and they look so heavy energetically. And then I see them the next time they're coming in, they're so much lighter. And it's like, it's such a breath right there, and they come over again and they're even lighter. And I always say, how light can we go? Well, a lot of people have been doing this a long time. And you know what? There's no limit, because as we expand, as we bring in more light, our abilities are going to increase. Things you didn't know were possible are going to be possible. You're going to be healthier. Your body's going to heal quicker. We have this innate smart body, and humanity's only using 30%. Well, think of it, when it starts getting into the higher numbers, we're going to be at a place where humanity is not going to get sick anymore, because your field's going to be so bright that this negative energy is not going to be able to come in. It's not going to bother you anymore. It's going to bother, someone else who might not be in that knowing, may not have that light. So everything you're doing for yourself is such a beautiful thing. Just take it from me, being kind to yourself is so important. And I'll get pointed out from others, like, you can talk so kindly to someone else, but you still hold so much judgment of where you are. And I love being reminded why would you say that? Like, nothing you've ever done was a mistake. They were just Brenda at a point of time where you didn't know any better. I get that. I totally get it. But when sometimes I get into my head, there's that self pity, oh, blah, blah, blah. I am not a victim of this planet. I may have thought I was once upon a time, but now I know I'm not. I'm creating. And those people who trigger me are, they're to really wake me up and say, okay, what is it that I need to work on? What patterns do I hold? All those things. So we're in this really beautiful time of self-realization, of this global awakening, and the chaos on earth isn't any worse than it's ever been. It's just revealing itself. Humanity's created this mess. We need to uncreate it. But we have so much help, assistance, beings of light that are helping, but they only can do that. They can assist. We, the human being, have to do the heavy lifting. So ignoring a situation is not going to make it go away. If there's something in your life that just keeps coming at you and you're like, nope, not going to look at it, it's not going to go away. There's no amount of energy work that's going to just pull it out of your system. It's coming to you because it's a lesson. You probably made a contract to come and learn. And until you learn it, it's going to keep coming in different faces, different places, but the same type of pattern. So sometimes it's just better to say, okay, I'm ready to deal with it, no matter how uncomfortable this is. And we've all had that feeling, right? It can be so uncomfortable. It can be emotional. It can be frustrating. It can bring up anger. It can bring up shame and guilt and embarrassment. That's what it is to be human. Go through the motions and transmute it. And when you learn that lesson, really pay attention, you'll get a check mark. And then you'll notice it doesn't come around. And then take a deep breath because your next lesson's coming. So yeah, that's what I've noticed. But I'm just so dedicated to picking myself apart that maybe it becomes a bit, I'm not going to say obsessive, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a bit of a break from it all. I'm just going to live 3D for a bit, and I'm back in it, learning another lesson. So maybe I just really love it more than I know, even though it still feels uncomfortable a lot of the time. So as we start today's healing, I'm just going to drink some water. Sorry, I'm just feeling very thirsty right now. We're going to get into the healing part. And we are going to send this beautiful energy that's coming through as a collective to ourselves, to our family, to our friends, to our homes, to our pets. And then we're going to send it out. And we're not going to be, I made notes because I was in a meditation the other day. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to remember this? So I scribbled something down when I came out. And we're going to say, instead of saying, okay, we're going to send it to here because of this, we're just going to simply say that we're going to send out this beautiful light for all those who need it, for whatever reasons they need it. We're going to send out healing energy for anyone who needs it for any reason. We're not going to state the reasons of why it needs to be sent. It's already known. And I'm not saying we're ignoring the reasons. We know the reasons. We know why we want to send the energy to this person and that person and that person in the world and this. We know what state it's in. But the more we talk about it, the more we're just sending energy to that. But why not just send love to it, to dissolve it? People's higher selves know what they need. We can't force it. We can only make it available. It's up to the person's higher self to take it. So we're just going to send the love, and you can visualize this beautiful beam of light, this blanket of gold, whatever you want, however you see it is correct. And just have that person just be engulfed by it and allow the love to work at whatever they need. Sometimes we'll say, I only want good to happen to this person. Okay, great. But if I look at my life, I haven't only had good that happened to me, But a lot of those experiences that weren't good were beautiful experiences because they helped me grow. So sometimes it's just better to say, hey, we're going to send out this light for the highest best of everyone who needs it. Because I don't know what the highest best is for this person or this person or this person. What I do know is we can send out this beautiful light to assist them in any way they need it. And that's it. That's all we need to do. And then we hold that light during the meditation. And then for some of us, we may want to hold that light in everyday circumstances. So you kind of get into that alignment and you go into the coffee store and you're holding that light. And you may smile at someone, may open the door for someone, but your light is dissolving a lot of that icky stuff around others around you without even knowing it. And you don't know how you benefited that person or that other person or this person or how you filled the room with light. It doesn't matter. Just know something good's coming out of it, and you may never see that person again. But this is how it works. And as more people are holding the light on the planet, we're holding the consciousness of this planet, and it's increasing. And the more of us that wake up and hold the light, well, the higher percentage, the more the darkness and that dense energy dissolves. And we have this really beautiful shift. So we're all in this together. And thank you so much for attending. And we're going to start the music, and we're going to start sending out that love for all of those on the planet that need it, that need a healing, for any situations on the planet that need healing. So we're just going to make it very general, and then we're going to send light to wherever it's needed, and just allow it, trust it, and know it. A lot of cool things with energy work or energy healing is knowing, trusting, and believing. And then that's, if anything I learned from religion, I used to say, know, trust, and believe. I'm like, what are they talking about? How do you know, trust, and believe and have faith when you just feel like you're so unimportant? But over time, as you start to know, trust, have faith, you start to see how your magic, your power influences and changes. Okay, I get it. Because it's not us, it's the light we're bringing in, which is so powerful. So the light's using us as a conduit. Okay, I could talk all day, so let's get to the actual healing part of this. And I'm just gonna play music. I'm gonna go right to this music here. And I'm gonna share the music. And if I talk, I talk. And if I don't, I don't. We'll see. I kind of feel talkative today. One thing I will ask before we start, if I am going to talk, the last thing I want is people straining to hear me, because I know it can be very irritating. So is there a decent balance between me talking and the music? If I'm quiet, do you hear the music enough? Louder? You need my voice louder, or we're good? It's hard to tell from this end. There's a balance. Okay, thank you. All right, awesome. Perfect. All right, I'm going to drink a bit of water. For those of you who might be new, just relaxing with your eyes open or closed. Personally, I like them closed in these types of situations, but if you want to see what's going on, that's okay. You want to get into a state of receiving, which we've already kind of done at this point, but you can talk to your guides directly and let them say, hey, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm going through something right now. Just release whatever's ready, or show me what I need to do at a physical level, a mental level, an emotional level. I'm releasing, I'm allowing in light, saying I say yes to the ascension process. I give light permission to intervene in my life, and I say no to any dark interference. We're done with that. I'm going back to my birthright. My birthright is all those good things: love, joy, power. When I say power, I mean your personal power, your magnificence, that connection of who you truly are. And doesn't it feel good? Your heart just feels like you feel expanding and loving and allowing love. How many of us don't want to allow love in because we've been hurt? But you want to kind of open that up, allow those hurts to go, and allow that love of God to come in. All right, I'm gonna drink some more and we're gonna be, it's already flowing, so I'm just gonna start as I drink. All right, everyone. We're all in this together, so you're all adding this beautiful energy as we're starting. Easy to add the energy. It's beautiful. It becomes very strong. It's like a circular picking up everyone's energy. And it's so beautiful. It's like as we're taking and allowing these deep breaths, for some of us, you can feel your physical body in the chair laying down. But as the healing starts, a lot of people start to feel there's just a part of them, probably the etheric field, just kind of raises up. And then it's almost like we're all in this beautiful circle working together to allow this beautiful light to come through us and through us. We all have our own personal teams working on it, so it's all independent, yet it's all together. Kind of neat. And there's something called Master Light. Master Light came onto Earth, I believe, in about March 2020. It's a new energy that came available to help humanity, the healing that was needed. And as we're being worked on, a physical level, a mental level, emotional level, there's these beautiful just waves. It almost feels like dolphins and whale energy, this Syrian energy is just flowing through, bringing this calmness and peace as we're releasing whatever is ready to leave at this time. We don't have to know exactly what it is. We don't even have to know what it is at all, but we just trust and know that the releasing is for our highest good. So I don't need it anymore. I'm ready to heal. I deserve to heal. I'm allowing love to flow through to me. I'm allowing this energy to work on any issue, anything that's presenting at this time. And the beautiful thing with these healings is we set an intention. Nothing can hide. So we're asking for anything that's seen and unseen, hidden, levels and step aside, and psychological reversal. Anything that's saying in the background, no, I don't want to heal. Sometimes we have these little hidden, I deserve to heal. I may be feeling guilty at some energetic level, some subconscious level for something I did in this lifetime or past lifetime, saying, no, I deserve to suffer. I don't want to heal. I don't deserve it. That is false. We're going to break that. Everyone deserves to heal. No matter what we've done, we'll let it go. We're going to forgive ourselves. We can ask for forgiveness. And do we really need forgiveness? It's a nice thing to have because, some of us just feel this guilt somewhere in our body. Our cells are holding on to these memories. Sometimes we're hurt and sometimes we're hurt. You can allow a deep breath with no questions. Allow that breath of this beautiful light to come into your body and feed every cell. Every cell has its own consciousness. It knows. And as this healing is taking place in such multi-dimensional ways, and there's so many things happening right now, it's so beautiful. we're going to set that intention that this beautiful light is available to anyone on this planet that needs it. Anyone who is feeling at any level, this energy be available to them. For any place on this beautiful planet that needs extra love, may this energy be sent to it. For our family members and our friends and our pets, everything that matters so dearly to us. May this beautiful energy surround them and work with them in any way that's needed for their highest best, their healing and their growth. You can't force an energy, we all know that. You can make it available. And that's what we're doing. You must picture a beautiful beam of light. It's white, it's purple, it's blue, it's beautiful. Just moving through and love all of humanity, helping anyone who's needing really truest. There's so many other groups out there, big or small, sending energy, and this energy is connecting to that energy of love. It's compounding the love on this planet. And the light, the love, that is the highest peak ever on this planet for thousands of years. It's dissolving all those things that don't feel so good. And it's bringing in an optimism. We're on the right track. As uncomfortable as it may feel, we're on the right track. Sometimes there's just a little bit of reconstruction or reconstruction. Allowing that deep breath, allowing the light to bring calmness and connection, knowing that humanity is on the right track. The changes you might be going through in your life are okay. But for your highest best, you can ask for the help of your guides to show you the best next step. And sometimes just surrendering. I may not know the best step. I don't know what it is. But trusting that I may not know. And when you're guided, usually a beautiful outcome that you would have never expected. Really beautiful thing. Being in a state of appreciation and gratitude just brings in all your energetic field there. Everyone talks about the 7 chakras. Everybody's looking all being cleared front and back. So we're moving in a really beautiful way, allowing the energy system to flow. The meridian system that's flowing very beautifully. Hearing your auric field in your body, and just allowing you to be very connected, very open to this beauty Although we're doing this together, we're all in our own octave here. And some of you may feel a beautiful hand on your shoulder. That's reassurance that you are being loved and respected. Just knowing you are loved, almost like you're in your own cocoon. And whatever you need at this time is being attended to. Allowing anything that no longer serves you, releasing any thoughts of worry, calming your nervous system of any anxieties, replacing it with calmness, connection, and a knowing that where you are is perfect and evolving. Everything's working out for you, for your highest. And to be just thankful for the little things of being able to take a beautiful breath on this beautiful planet. Hard as it is to believe, we chose to be here. We are blessed to be here in such a beautiful time. And we're so blessed that Mother Earth has realized the human consciousness was high enough to bring us on this journey. And as you heal, Mother Earth heals. And as Mother Earth heals, we're healing individually. And as we're doing this work, we're helping our family members that we start to call those who's on our spiritual DNA, our ancestral DNA. So sometimes when we have these feelings, you might notice your children look happier and lighter. Mom or dad may seem happier than brother or sister. Some of you, it makes you different colors, floating through. Others may feel waves of energy, a hot and cold, a tingling sensation. We have Mother Earth giving us beautiful healing energy from the bottom of our feet, moving up our legs, into our core. And then we have this beautiful energy coming from the heavens and the stars. As we allow our breath to bring in the light, every cell of your body is thinking. As you exhale, you're just letting out what is no longer needed. There's old memories may pop up, just let them go. Okay, I acknowledge them. There's emotional feelings coming through, you're having a few tears, just allow them to bubble up and allow them to come with you now. Light and that's all. Those others will feel nothing, but you're having a beautiful experience of feeling like you. Yes, none of us are just sensitive, and some of us aren't. Everyone has their teeth. We're asking to shift to better timelines. We can choose where we want to go, and how far we want to go, and how much change and positive we want. Our guides, our higher selves are going to bring us to a level we can these feelings seem so powerful. And move you along in a way that you're going to feel lighter and brighter and more connected. Letting go of anything that's no longer serving you. You're ready to let go. Easy flow. Could be a past life trauma, soul fragment, negative thought patterns. Bring this beautiful clean light to every cell of your body, calming thought patterns, the nervous system, adding in beautiful feelings of security, positive feelings of optimism, connection, and inspiration, and knowing that you are magnificent, you're powerful, you're beautiful, and you're connected. And this feeling of love that you have right now can be brought to you any time of the day. Remember the feeling right now. Call upon it at any time that you feel it's in. You're going to now place a beautiful bubble of liquid love on everybody here. This bubble is so beautiful and it's going to stay with you all night, all day. Whenever you notice it, you'll know it's there. It doesn't ever have to leave. For some of you, you're going to feel it. Some of you may actually even see it. Even if you don't, it is there for you. And this beautiful liquid love bubble, you have a master breathing. There's a healing energy that's working all time. You can bring this light anywhere you go. You may want to send your extra love to anyone that you feel connected. Send out any intention at this time. Yourself or others. This beautiful thing. Just get thankful. This beautiful healing. And you have all the connected and beautiful connection. We're all having a separate experience. The energy that's healing is a combination of everyone's love. Magnified, beautiful, it's powerful, and it's good. You continue to work on you for the next 4 to 5 days. And we're drinking lots of water. Using any toxins that need to be released, you go to the bathroom. Any time of the day, say an affirmation like, I know you're working on me. Do whatever is needed, I give permission for the light. I'm ready to come back to you. Allow the love that knows you best, whatever is in your heart. Knowing it's a process, being okay with that, being kind to yourself, letting go of any feelings that might make you feel less than. You are magnificent, you are powerful, you are connected, you are loved, you are healthy, you are kind, you are complete. You are one. We say thank you to all these beings of light that continue to provide us with these beautiful gifts. There is so much relief, Opens the flow, the anchor of heaven and earth. And we set the intention that the love and light that generated in this meditation continue to breathe throughout this beautiful life, helping anyone that needs it available to them. We're going to continue as much as we can. Hold this light in every situation that we're in. We're adding an extra feeling of our home, melting away any worries or anxiety or fear, making our home this beautiful, loving energy that brings calmness, love, joy, and kindness. We set the intention that our children are happy, thriving, and have direction, feeling their best. We set this intention the awakening process continue. Remember the pleasing flow, also really good present. We're in it, and it's happening. You're going to come out of it in a beautiful place. I'm going to try to enjoy the journey along the way. Trying to live the moment. Enjoy life. Appreciate the small things. Spreading love and joy to everyone we meet. It's just a simple smile. The simple smiles go us a long way. Allowing another deep breath, sending a thank you. A thank you to all of you for joining. A thank you to all these beautiful beings of light that were here today. May stay with you as this healing process happens. Everything's going to continue to go what they need. And anchor this light into our hearts so we thank for those who can. Only if you're comfortable with that. Only do whatever you're comfortable with. There's no right or wrong. Beautiful. So I'm going to play the singing bowl now. I'm not going to talk anymore. The singing bowl is just going to help push out any last minute lingering energies that just going to need to be pushed out. As the tone comes through, it may not sound perfectly, but the intention just works just fine. I'll leave the music playing for another 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, they can ask in the chat box. For those of you who want to stay in meditation, do so. For those who are ready to come back, wiggle your toes, your body around. The energy's been pretty intense tonight, so if you're feeling lightheaded or dizzy, you can always ask to be grounded back to Mother Earth. Drink plenty of water. Thank you all for attending. Very intense. It's still flowing, but slowly. Breathable. There we go. So I'm gonna leave the music on for just a little longer. Thank you for joining. That was beautiful. I'm still a little bit lightheaded. Beautiful energy out there today. That was definitely a joint effort. Thanks, everyone. All right. Okay, everyone. I'm gonna close this down. I'll upload it to YouTube, probably available sometime tonight. And feel free if you want to just replay it. Every time you do it, it just takes off another layer. It's pretty amazing how this all works. And this whole healing is going to work for 4 or 5 days. For those of you who don't sleep so well, just set the intention to allow whatever happens. You know, we're all very different in how we heal. Drink lots of water. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or text me. And I'll get back to you either later today if I can't sleep or tomorrow morning. All right, everyone, have a blessed night. Thank you for joining and enjoy the healing process. Good night.